Alright, I'm Jack. I'm going to pretend that that intro wasn't made 2 years ago and that I can actually be asked to make a new one because I'm not lazy. If you were unlucky enough to watch the last video, you'll know that I don't know how to introduce things. I'm not very good at it, so I'm just going to get into what I want to talk about. A few days ago, I and I think quite a few other people received an email from UCAS that included a letter from Michelle Donelan, who is the university's minister. It wasn't very good. It wasn't very helpful. It was basically a, oh, you're in trouble, that's a shame, well, So what I wanted to do was just go point by point on a few things that she mentioned and kind of say why I think the letter is just pointless and why I think she is pointless. So let's get into it. So Michelle starts the letter off and it's just pretty generic, you know, hello, know what's going on, it's bad, it's very bad, and then she gets into her points. And the first point that I want to touch upon, the response is very, very short because it's a pointless statement that she makes. So in her statement, she says, "We have taken the steps to reassure students about the effects of COVID-19 on their education." Now to me, this is the first example of pointless rhetoric. We have been left in the dark completely. One letter does not solve anything. One, oh I know it's hard, does not solve anything. You have not helped us, you have left us in the dark. We are the only educational level that has been left in the dark about what we're supposed to be doing at the minute. It's not helpful to just say, oh, we're doing what we can, because you're not. The second point that she makes. The government is encouraging universities and private hall providers to be fair and clear in their decisions about rent charges during this time. This is bollocks. There should be no encouragement. You have the power to do something about it, so do it. If the word encouragement means something else, then say that other word. Don't say, we've encouraged people to do this, we've encouraged the halls providers to do this. If you have the power to make police able to stop people walking on the streets, then you have the power to make organisations do the right thing and treat people fairly. The third point she makes. I have also heard reports of accommodation providers charging students full rent unless they clear their belongings. Let me be clear that students should not travel back to halls to collect their belongings during lockdown, and it is wrong for accommodation providers to be pressurising students into doing this by linking it with financial penalties. Again, if you're getting reports about this, do something about it rather than letting us know that you've been getting reports about it, because that does nothing for anyone. All it does is let you say, oh yeah, we've heard what you're saying, but we're not going to do anything about it. If you have the power to do something, do it. Don't just talk about it, do it. The fourth point she makes. If you have applied for support and have been awarded a lower amount than the maximum and believe your household income for the current tax year, that being 2020 to 2021, will drop by at least 15% compared to the household income you provided when you were initially assessed, Student Finance England may be able to help. Like many other organisations, SFE is very busy at the moment, so it's really important to read the guidance fully before making an application or phoning them. There's something specific that pisses me off with this statement. May is the operative word. You are covering yourself, so in the event that nothing gets done about this, you can say, well, we did say may, we didn't say definitely. It's a typical thing for a politician to do. More so, it's a typical thing for a Tory to do, because that's what Michelle Donelan is. The fifth point she makes. We have worked with the Office for Students, the regulator in England, to help universities draw on existing funding of up to £46 million to increase hardship funds for students. If you do not have the IT equipment or internet access you need at home to study and cannot afford to buy it, or if you are experiencing financial hardship because of COVID-19, you should contact your university to find out what support is available. There's a lot wrong with what this says. It shouldn't be down to the student to reach out to the institution, it should be down to the institution to reach out to the student. The student is the one that will be paying for the service, not the other way around. The institution is not paying us to be there, we are paying them to be there. Is it worth £9,250 a year? Absolutely fucking not. Not a lot is worth £9,250 a year, let alone fucking education. No. Not worth it. It's not the student that is failing the institution, it is the institution that is failing the student. And not only is the institution failing the student, the government is failing the student, and the woman put in place to help the students is failing the students. If the argument's put forward that they can't really afford to dosh out some money to HE institutions, here's some figures for you. There has been £1.5 billion invested in further education, so that being colleges. £120 million has been invested for up to 8 new institutes of technology and £7 million for a total of 11 maths schools so that students can access quality STEM provisions everywhere. If you can invest in FE, fine, good for you, but why can't you invest in HE? When you move from further education to higher education, there's nothing there. It's underdeveloped, it's underfunded. So what's the point in saying, yeah, we've put all this money into this one system, but then not helping what comes after? That to me, it makes no sense. Universities are underfunded. Therefore, universities end up drawing more money out of the student. It is annoying. It's a practice that can be so easily rectified, but they won't do it because it doesn't fit the agenda. No offence to people that go to college. I went to college, and there's a lot of people that go to college that don't want to be there. It's because they have to be there. So rather than funding the sort of point of education where there are many people that don't want to be there, they're there because they have to be. Why not fund the education level where people are actually making moves to go there? Do you know what I mean? Rather than making a mandatory thing higher funded, make something that people are actually invested in. I could have chosen not to go to uni. I didn't have to go to university. Nobody had to go to university. It was a completely optional thing. But when you get there, you realise how fucking underfunded everything is. And it's annoying. So the question to that is, where is the support for HE over FE? The sixth point she makes. If you are unhappy with any aspect of your experience at university during the coronavirus outbreak, I expect universities to ensure that you continue to have access to support services, including complaints processes. I expect student complaints and appeals processes to be operated flexibly, accessibly and sympathetically by providers to resolve any concerns. If you are not satisfied with your provider's final response, you can ask the Office of the Independent Adjudicator for Higher Education to consider your complaint. There's this games company called Bethesda. Now, Bethesda are a bit scummy. Reading that is just a bit echoey of something that Bethesda says. If you have a problem with Bethesda or a product that they put out, they ask you to file a ticket. Now, when you file a ticket, it goes through their website and you hardly hear anything back, if anything at all. Rather than saying we are going to confront the problem head on because there has been an inordinate amount of people that have said this is a problem, they say, oh, just make a complaint and we'll say that we've seen it. Now, imagine this frustration that you get when you're playing a video game and something like that doesn't work, and it's a video game that you've paid, what, I don't know, £50 for, maybe. Imagine the feeling that you get when you realise that the same thing is happening to a service that you have paid for over 3 years for £9,250 each year. That is annoying. It's more than annoying. It's upsetting and it's anger-inducing. To be told that, oh, we know there's a problem, but there's nothing we can do. Bollocks. It is the biggest crock of bollocks ever. Because there is something that they can do. They just don't want to do anything about it. And it is fucking annoying. It's genuinely, genuinely annoying. And again, I go back to typical politician, typical Tory. Her last point. I remain committed to helping you continue your university studies during this challenging time. In other words, I'm going to periodically tell you that we're doing everything that we can so that I can cover my arse. Michelle Donelan and whoever is on her team are pointless. There is no reason for them to have their job because they don't do anything to help. There has been countless petitions that have been put online. And you know the way that Change.org works, that, you know, a petition needs to get, I think it's 10,000 signatures for it to be considered in Parliament. I've seen so many fucking petitions that have got way over 10,000 signatures from students and other people talking about, you know, how finances are to be handled for students, and I haven't seen anything be discussed. And if it has been discussed, obviously fuck all's happened about changing it. It's annoying. Oh, and to top it off, when I was doing a bit of research for this video, I found out that Michelle Donelan was one of the people that voted no to a pay rise for the NHS. So do with that information what you will. Scumbag Tory, scumbag politician, same as, and we're the ones that are getting fucked for it. So cheery. If you want to keep up to date with what I get angry about, then my Instagram should be somewhere there. I had the privilege of going onto a podcast with a very good friend of mine. I will link all of his stuff in the description. Check him out. Absolutely amazing. Dropped ice cream. Really good guy. Love him to bits. So yeah. Until next time. Bye.